Why Santa was late. Every year without fail, you've never had to wait. This year was different, because Santa was late. It was 1 o'clock in the morning when Santa woke up, screwed in his glass eye and took his teeth from the cup, put his feet in his boots, stood up from the bed, clumped down the stairs and stomped off to the shed. Through 3 feet of snow, though he swears it was 4, he tripped over his sledge and crashed in through the door. Cursing and swearing, he bounced off the wall, cracking his head, but that was not all. As he got to his feet, much worse was in store. Instead of 8 reindeer, he saw only 4. Outside in the snow, his sledge weighed 10 ton. With only 4 reindeer, could not be done. Santa looked round his shed. Tractor. Too big and too slow. Quad bike, I'll give that a go. So he fueled up the beast, hooked up to his sledge, roared out the door and crashed into the hedge. Second go was better. He revved it up hard and shot out the door and flew round the yard. 2 feet from the ground, Santa let out a yell. My gate's 6 foot high, oh bloody hell. Wound on the throttle, come on, give me all you've got. And the turbos kicked in and over the gateway he shot. As up with his sword and onwards he pressed, came to his notice he'd not yet got dressed. Apart from his feet, the rest of him froze, and the least of his problems was the gold on his nose. He had to head home, it was the right course of action. He banked it hard left and then he lost traction. Now 10 tons of sledge doesn't handle too well when hooked to a quad bike with tyres shot to hell. He slid to the left and slew to the right, but Santa hung on, his cheeks gripping tight. He pulled back on the brakes and aimed at the ridge, hard right round a tree and narrowly missing the bridge. Setting course for his house, he was getting on great. The bike skimmed up the lane, then he noticed his gate, which was of course still shut. Oh bollocks, he cried. He was naked and cold, there was nowhere to hide. He crashed through the gate doing 110, screamed round the yard, then screamed round again. He slid the thing sideways into the shed. I've made it, reindeers, I'm back. Then over his shoulder he heard a loud crack. 10 tons of presents came past him at speed. Santa just ducked and the reindeers just peed. Santa woke up with a start, still tucked up in bed. Well, I ain't dreaming, was it all in my head? He looked at his clock, it said 12:42. So he pulled both his boots on, then pulled his tunic on too. He clumped down the stairs and stomped off to the shed, convincing himself as he went, I was dreaming, it was all in my head. He sidestepped his sledge, gently opened the door. Was there 8 reindeer or maybe just 4? He stopped in his tracks, a surprise makes you do. Instead of 8 reindeer, there was just bloody 2. Santa looked at his quad bike, then remembered his gate. And now you all know why this year Santa was late.
Aww, very good.